We enter the story of Anita being thrown into solitary confinement in a mental asylum, but we quickly come to realize how she might not be crazy at all, but rather a young woman who is confronted with a harsh reality. Anita looks into the camera and begins telling us her story. Devil's Kettle is the town that this story is based in. It is the birthplace of the metaphor for Jennifer's body, given that it is a representation of the divine feminine's dark side, a portal or void into which everything is swallowed up, similarly to a black hole. All things enter and nothing can escape. This metaphor is a powerful allegory to how Jennifer's body is literally the portal to which men enter to never surface from again. Potentially the most important quote in this film, "They're just boys, morsels. We have all the power, needy. These things are like smart bombs. You point them in the right direction and shit gets real." This is when Jennifer's future in this film is concretized. Jennifer's body is an ode hinting at Lilith. Lilith is a mythological figure, and in most manifestations of her myth, Lilith represents chaos, seduction, and ungodliness. Unwholesome sexual practices are linked to Lilith as she powerfully embodies the demon lover myth. Nikolai is on the hunt for a virgin so that he can sacrifice her, and he chooses Jennifer. A fire breaks out at Low Shoulder's concert, and Needy is the first person to notice. This gives Nikolai his opportunity to lure Jennifer. Jennifer is led away to a van with the band as Needy and Jennifer lock eyes. This is the last we see of Jennifer before she completes her transformation. Later that night, Jennifer frightens Needy with her appearance. Jennifer begins to smile, exposing blood on her teeth, which confirms that she might have been eating those morsels she alluded to earlier. We are now at the infamous scene where Jennifer burns her tongue with a lighter and states, "I am a god." She has literally elevated into the status of a demi-god who cannot be overpowered by fire because symbolically, the power of fire is to destroy, which is now technically Jennifer's forte. In this next scene, we finally see Anita with her boyfriend Chip in an intimate moment, while interlaced with scenes of Colin, another student, heading to meet Jennifer on a street that has no lights on, only the moonlight. This foreshadows the haunting tragedy soon to befall Colin. Moonlight, at least in the tarot, is a symbol for illusions, since it isn't the true source of light and merely a reflection of sunlight. While Anita is being intimate with Chip, she notices a spot of blood in the ceiling getting bigger and bigger, and begins to drip down. This paranormal activity shows how connected Jennifer's activities are to Anita's. I theorize here that Jennifer represents Anita's dark side, her shadow self, her alter ego, the shadow that Anita is not willing to encroach upon out of fear. Both Anita and Jennifer are extremes of the polarities of the feminine. While Anita presents the angelic blonde purity, and Jennifer represents the powerful, destructive, chaotic forces of the feminine. Here we see another pronounced instance of Anita's telepathic connection with Jennifer. While Colin is being killed, Chip begins to climax. The interlacing of these exact moments is by far the most interesting one. There is a thematic weaving of the two drives, the death drive and the sex drive. It is theorized in classical Freudian theory that there is a drive toward death and destruction, which is expressed through behaviors like aggression and self-destructiveness. The death drive is in direct opposition to the sex drive, or the instinct to live. This further notes how Jennifer and Anita both represent the two forces of the feminine and of life itself. Anita representing life and creation, and Jennifer representing death and destruction. They are both necessary. Controversially, the drive toward death is climactically concluded after the experience of life. Death is the climax of life, in that it is the ultimate release of bondage from the world of material, the world of physical, the world of the body. After Anita's frightful night with Chip, she gets into her bed to find Jennifer. Anita finally confronts Jennifer and tells her to get out, as though she is finally confronting her dark side, and this can be considered her initiation into the confrontation of the shadow self. Jennifer begins to seduce Needy, and they kiss. This seems to be the representation of their union for the first time. Jennifer reveals what's been going on to Anita and tells us the story of what Nikolai Wolf and his band, Low Shoulder, did, which led to her transformation. Once the confrontation occurs between Anita and Jennifer, knowledge of the self is revealed. Thus, the process of transformation takes place and a person can say that they've undergone individuation. In this next scene, we discover the exact literary genius of why the writer called him Nikolai Wolf. In that same breath, his bandmates truly are his wolf pack. They tie Jennifer up in order to begin their ritual for fame and riches. That is why they were able to gain their fame after visiting Devil's Kettle. After the sacrifice takes place, Nikolai throws the knife that he used into the whirlpool, which again is a representation of the divine feminine's dark side. This whirlpool is a symbol of the power housed within this portal, representing the resurrecting and reconciling abilities of the feminine, which connects to what Jennifer says afterward. Jennifer is able to self-heal because healing is an attribute that falls within the realm of the feminine, the ability to let go and go within and heal oneself. Jennifer says that after the sacrifice, she woke up and she could not remember anything except that she knew her way back to Anita, her other half. After many deaths in Devil's Kettle, Anita decides to get to the bottom of things and conducts paranormal research. She begins to understand that Jennifer is in fact a demon, a succubus. A succubus is a demonic entity that is believed to feed on flesh. Anita exposes Jennifer to Chip and reads from the book that talks about demonic transference. If the human sacrifice is impure, the result may be attained, but the demon will forever reside in the soul of the victim. She must forever feed on flesh to sustain the demon. That's the reason why Jennifer wasn't sacrificed. It's because she wasn't a virgin. Chip thinks that Needy isn't doing well and tells him that it's not safe for him to go to the dance because Jennifer will want to feed since she knows that she's been getting weaker. While Anita is at the dance, she senses that Jennifer is preying upon Chip and races to his rescue. Chip has a moment of mental and moral clarity and tells Jennifer that he cannot continue to kiss her, to which Jennifer begins her process of inflicting torture on her prey. Chip uses his last ounce of strength to save Anita from Jennifer by impaling her. Jennifer escapes, and Anita's moment of clarity comes when she accepts that she can only completely annihilate Jennifer's destruction and bloodshed. This is when the full union takes place and the dark and the light sides fuse. During their fight sequence, Jennifer begins to levitate in order to gain dominance over Anita. Anita sees Jennifer's BFF necklace, rips it off, and throws it to the floor. Once it hits the floor, Jennifer falls. This is a representation of the fall of destruction, the fall of Jennifer, the overpowering of the light over the dark. Jennifer can no longer continue to use Needy as a projection or a scapegoat for her insecurities or needs, and thus union has taken place. Finally, we find ourselves at the last scene and return to the original scene when Anita is in solitary confinement, and this time she's seen levitating. This energetic transference is the completion of the heroine's journey of undergoing the individuating process and alchemizing the dark parts of the soul and transforming them into a fully balanced person. Anita breaks her way out of the mental ward and while walking finds the knife that was the weapon for Jennifer's murder. This is the last confirmation of Anita's union with Jennifer. She is a completely balanced representation of the feminine. She does not seek to destroy, she seeks to restore. She now restores the balance. The weapon that was used to commence the destruction that ravaged Devil's Kettle and caused Jennifer's tragic transformation is the same weapon that Anita uses to enact karmic justice. After Anita restores the balance of karmic justice, the security camera catches her walking out of the hotel room, and she stares right into it. It's almost as though she is informing the viewer that we should know that she's watching, and that is a symbol of karmic justice. She will always find retribution for those who need it.